Hey everybody, this is May the 12th, 2024, and I just wanted to take a few minutes to wish all the mothers out there today a happy Mother's Day. I hope you get to spend a lot of time with your children today and make some memories. If you are a mother and you're a targeted individual, you're being electronically harassed, or you're being hit with the directed energy weapons, or maybe you even have Morgellons. And if you're a mother and you're going through this torture, then your torture is bad enough, right? But when you have to worry about your children, when you have to fear for your children going through this, it takes things to a whole new level. And I know it makes things more chaotic and more horrifying for your situation. So I just want to talk a few minutes about what you can do to protect your children. You pretty much do the same things that you do for yourself. If you have a child that you know is being targeted with the directed energy weapons, or electronically harassed in some way, or that maybe they have Morgellons, you can treat them. You can treat your children just like you do yourself. There are things you can do to protect them. They are hitting the children. Okay, these weapons don't play favorites. They're hitting everybody, even the children. I have a niece who has a little girl. She's like 2 years old now, I think. But when she was born, she was diagnosed with autism. Okay, and she was always shaking, and she'd stretch her whole body until she would just collapse. And there was a problem with her central nervous system. And now they call it autism, but we know better than that. We know what it is. Frequencies are hitting this baby. You're not going to get the truth from the doctors. You have to have discernment. You have to know what's going on. I also have another niece who just had twins. They came home from the hospital just fine, but now both of these babies have breathing problems. Their lungs stay full of fluid, and they have to take treatments every day of their life now. They're hoping they'll grow out of it, but who knows? They're hitting the children. And then I have another little boy, our neighbor, one of my neighbor's friends has a little boy who's like 3 years old. And I can tell every time I see this little boy, I can tell that he's being tortured by the weapons, because he looks like he's aged. He's 3 years old, but he looks like he's 9 or 10. It's the weapons. They can age you. They can, when they hit you, they affect the cells in the body, and they cause you to age real fast. This is happening to children. It's not just happening to us. My sister, this was years ago. Now, this was probably 10, 15 years ago. My sister had a little girl. Back then we didn't know what was going on, right? She had a little girl that just kept having seizures. Out of the blue, she would have seizures, and she'd fall out of the chair and fall down on the floor, and she'd start convulsing. They didn't know what was causing her seizures. She saw so many doctors and so many specialists, and they kept her on so many pills. It just messed her up, okay? She's grown now, and she's married, but she's messed up, okay? And when I think back on that, when I think back on everything that the family went through with her, and trying to figure out they couldn't figure out what was causing her seizures. I look back on it, and just thinking about the house they lived in and everything, and where her bedroom was. Her bedroom was right next to the electrical power pole outside. So her head was actually pointing in the same direction of her smart meter. So she was getting hit every night with electromagnetic frequencies, the microwaves and the radio waves every night. And this was what was causing her seizures. We know this now. We didn't know it back then. And even some children, I'm noticing, even some of the children's teeth are starting to decay. Children now, young children, their teeth are starting to decay and rot. They're hitting the children too, folks. They're hitting everybody. So I just want to take a moment and just say that if you're a target individual, I know that you have children, I know that you're worried about your children being targeted and your children having Morgellons, whatever. I know, I've been there, okay? I've been there. I remember thinking, oh my God, what if my child gets this, what if my child gets this, or back when I had Morgellons. And it was horrifying to think about. And you try to take steps to protect them, but you never really feel like they're safe, because you're not safe. They don't know what's going on because you don't know what's going on. It's a nightmare. It's a horror show. So I just want to say to you mothers out there who have small children, do what you can to protect your children. You can do the same thing for them you do for yourself. You can start the Epsom salt bath treatments for your children right now to remove the nanotechnology from the body. You can also start using a good organic shampoo to keep their scalp and their hair clean. You can start doing internal detox. Now, I don't want to tell you what to give your child internally, but you know what you can use. I mean, there's the bentonite clay, there's the dimetris earth, there's the potassium iodide, and you can get the potassium iodide for children. I know because I've got it. It comes in a liquid form. Just use your better judgment when it comes to what you give your child, because you know your child, you know their medical history, and you know what they can take and what they can't. So I can't give that kind of advice, not for children. But I can give you tips on how to protect them. Make sure that your child is not sleeping in a bedroom without the windows being covered with some kind of shielding material. You need something that's going to shield electromagnetic frequencies and these directed energy weapons. Something like sheet metal or bubble foil or any kind of shielding material for the frequencies. This is important because these weapons can come, I know the directed energy weapons come through the windows. They can come straight through your windows and they can hit your child at night while they're sleeping. And I wouldn't put them next to a window. If you got a place in your home that doesn't have in their bedroom where you can put them away from the window, of course that's not going to keep them from getting to them, but the windows need to be covered, okay? Never let your child sleep in a bedroom with Wi-Fi. You do not want Wi-Fi in a child's bedroom. That internet router is constantly pulsing electromagnetic frequencies straight into that room. Actually, you need to put away all of their electronics at night. They don't need to have any electronics in their bedroom, especially cell phones or computers or iPads or anything like that. It all puts off electromagnetic frequencies. Reduce the power in your home as much as you can. I can't tell people to do what I'm doing because everybody's situation is different. I live by myself, and it's easy for me to turn off all my power because it's just me, okay? But I realize you can't do that when you got a whole family living in your house. But you can turn off the breakers that you're not using, or in the rooms that you're not using. You can reduce the power as much as possible. You can cover your smart meter. I cannot tell you how much you can reduce the frequencies in your home just by covering your smart meter with a stainless steel bow, like I did. You can use shielding for their bodies if you feel like they may be getting hit. You can put the bubble foil over their chest, over their back. You can also make a bubble foil hat for their head at night if they start having like strange things going on in their head, or bad headaches or any kind of symptoms you might see in your child. You can protect their bed. You can put the bubble foil over their bed. The same thing that you would do to protect yourself, you can do for your children. You can build a barricade around their bed. I have my bed up against the wall, and then I have like a barricade built around my bed with tall furniture. I have all of my tall furniture lined around my bed, and my bed is closed in. Now, you may have something better. If you got some of those room dividers, that's perfect. Because you can put around your child's bed, and you can put blankets over them. Anything that you can put between your child and these weapons will help. Anything, any kind of furniture, any kind of matter, anything that will help block these weapons from hitting your child. I'm even thinking about now trying to get somebody to make me a boxed-in bed, just a wooden boxed-in bed. But the carpenters are few far between around here. It's hard to find a carpenter to do anything. But I want to do that in the future. The best thing to do is to turn off all your electric power completely and live off grid, but I realize people can't do that. And it's sad because the government knows that people can't do that. They know people can't just turn off all their power and get rid of all their electronics. They know that. And so they know they've got everybody right where they want them. Okay. But if you're alone, if you live by yourself, it's a lot easier. I would suggest that you get out in nature, that you let your child stay in nature as much as possible. Take them on nature trails. Let them go to the woods. Let them go to the creek. Let them swim in the creek water. If it's clean and if it's safe. Get out in the sun. Get out in the sun. I've made videos about how important it is to be in the sun. If you're sick with anything, get out in the sun. Stay out in the sun as much as you can. The sun is a natural healer. It will heal your body. It will also protect you. If you're being hit with directed energy weapons, the sun will help repair some of the damage to your cells. But you got to get out in it, okay? Go to the beach. Go to the ocean. Breathe in the salt water. Walk in the sand. Get out of your house as much as you can. I don't know what else to say except just you would take the same steps that you take to protect yourself, to protect your child, okay? Don't think for a minute that they're not hitting the children, because they are. They're hitting everyone. Some people are worse than others. And I know what it's like to have to worry about your child being tortured with this, because I worried for so many years that I said, I can deal with myself. I can deal with my torture. But my child being tortured, that takes things to a whole new level. And then that takes it to a level to where it's virtually unbearable to have to watch your child being tortured with these weapons. And there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, physically, mentally, and emotionally, it destroys you. You and the child. So that's all, folks. Stay heart-centered. Make your connection with God within you and keep that connection strong, because you're going to need God to help you. Nobody can get through this on their own. They can't do it without God. Connect with God within you. Stay heart-centered. Stay in the light. And stay out of fear. Try to keep your vibrations as high as you possibly can. Your love vibration. That will help you, not only will that help you heal, but it will help protect you. I love you guys. Happy Mother's Day, everybody.